Dobry wieczór wszystkim, I'm Mysticle, and today I'll be bringing you the latest in AR and VR news. As usual, you've got chapters down below to skip to the part of the video that interests you, and with that, let's jump right into the video. First of all, we've got something that thousands of Quest users have been waiting for. And yes, I mean thousands, because it seems every other person complains about Quest's current UI. Well, Meta is apparently channeling the Apple Vision Pro in the upcoming Meta Quest UI update. This is an article by Android Central, and according to it, we can be looking forward to seeing quite a few features that a lot of people, including myself, have been asking for quite some time. In his monthly AMA on Instagram, Meta CTO Andrew Bosworth gave the first details on the upcoming Meta Quest UI overhaul. Bosworth said the new UI will be more personalized than ever, and it will include new ways of interacting with nearby devices. That is actually really interesting. What does he mean by nearby devices? Does he mean like I will be able to virtually turn my lights on and off, maybe with a smart home integration? Or will we be able to interact with devices like our phones laying around using the Android nearby device feature? The new UI will have a heavy emphasis on mixed reality, including stationary and pinned menus and apps. This is something I've wanted for a very, very long time. People that have been comparing the Vision Pro and the Meta Quest have been saying that this is one of the biggest things that Meta is still missing in mixed reality. Stationary pinned apps, meaning you can pin a window in a certain area and it will stay there while you move around. You don't have to have the 3 menus floating in front of you like we currently do. You can kind of move them around and pin them in different spaces. That's fantastic. Maybe, just maybe, also means we'll finally be able to launch more than just 3 2D apps. An upgraded keyboard will also allow users to type with all fingers, and the Quest 3 users will soon be able to use the headset while lying down. There's no date for the upcoming UI refresh, but it's expected that Meta will debut the redesign sometime in 2024, potentially alongside a Meta Quest Pro 2 announcement. So again, no date on this yet. I'm really hoping that it comes before a Quest Pro 2 announcement, because I'm thinking that's probably going to come during the next Meta Connect conference. And I really want this to come sooner rather than later, but I do understand a major UI overhaul like that does take time, and you want to get it right. So I'll wait. Another pretty good piece of Meta news, as they might just be having a redemption arc when it comes to the headstraps. Meta is reaching out to Quest 3 Elite strap with battery buyers to offer a replacement due to the charging issue. And it seems that Meta are actually the ones reaching out here, which is really cool. You don't see that very often. Meta is reaching out to Quest 3 Elite strap with battery buyers, telling them to redeem their replacement due to the charging issue the company acknowledged in November. Since the Quest 3's launch in October, some buyers of the $130 Elite strap with battery accessory have reported it not being recognized by the headset or not charging correctly. In November, Meta briefly paused sales of the Elite head strap with battery to update them. Apparently this was actually a firmware issue. And since the firmware isn't user upgradable, you'd have to send your head strap back to Meta, and they would send you a new one with the new firmware pre-installed. At the time of the sales pause, Meta advised owners of the Elite strap with battery to reach out to support to have it replaced with a working unit. But this week, Meta is also emailing anyone who has bought a faulty unit to tell them to redeem their replacement. Interestingly, the email says, even if your Elite strap with battery is functioning without any issues, we would still like to offer you a new and updated Elite strap with battery. It's honestly nice seeing that they're reaching out to anyone to essentially stop any potential issues in the future. Yes, this is also going to help them, but it also helps the end user. Let's be honest, sending back an item to have it fixed and having to wait for it to come back is never nice for consumers. So stopping the issue before it happens is fantastic, and I'd like to see more stopping the issue before it happens in the future, before anything happens. Here's a very interesting one. Apparently Niantic and Meta have collaborated on multiple WebXR apps that allow crossplay between a headset and a phone. Upload VR article. Check out these WebXR mixed reality demos with crossplay between Quest 3 and phones. Niantic and Meta have partnered to fund 3 multiplayer mixed reality demo games that run in the browser and support both Quest 3 and mobile. The demos were built over a 10-week period using Niantic's 8th Wall web-based AR engine, which has a fully in-browser editor and offers cloud hosting for built projects. Niantic is the company behind the smartphone AR game like Pokemon Go, Pikmin Bloom, and Harry Potter Wizards Let's Unite. The condition of the funding for the 3 teams was that their projects use 8th Wall's multiplayer module, which can enable crossplay between headsets and traditional mobile devices like smartphones and tablets. This is really cool. Imagine just kind of looking around your room with a phone and being able to see like a VR character there. I would like to see more of that in the future, essentially being able to join the quote-unquote metaverse from any device, which is the way I think it should be to begin with, and WebXR is a great way of starting that. The 3 demos are Cardboard Crashers, Magical Forest, and Big Quest. In case you guys want to try these out, links will be down below alongside the Upload VR article. They seem very, very interesting, and hopefully you'll be able to play these multiplayer even if you only have one headset, because you should be able to launch these on any device that supports WebXR. Synth Riders will apparently add a local party mode on the Apple Vision Pro. Following last month's launch, Synth Riders on the Apple Vision Pro will release its first major update on March 22nd. Developer Kluge Interactive states party mode lets you compete on the same device using Vision Pro's guest mode, allowing you to save song scores locally without affecting your ranking on the Game Center leaderboards. Game Center leaderboards are also being added. This is something that I don't see a lot of in virtual reality, as to be honest, it can be quite cumbersome. I have seen it in different titles in the past. For example, we used to play a lot of this bowling game. I believe it was Premium Bowling, and that also had a local party mode. How it would work is you would take your turn, then you would pass the headset off to the next person, and they would take their turn, meaning you don't need multiple headsets in order to play in a party. It's also just really nice. You really haven't seen much of that when it comes to video games. I don't know, it seems kind of wholesome to me in my head. But yeah, apparently Synth Riders is now adding a mode like this, allowing you and your friends to play Synth Riders together and compete against each other without them necessarily having to own a $3,500 device. So that's really nice. I love seeing more people being able to jump into VR and play together by using their friends' equipment. Maybe, who knows, maybe they'll love it so much they'll end up getting their own. And even though the Apple Vision Pro wasn't specifically made for gaming, and they've made that very clear by not releasing controllers or anything like that, apparently the Vision Pro games are starting to blend 3D with flat-screen native gameplay. Apple announced that Vision Pro native versions of 2 popular iOS games are coming to Apple Arcade next month: Crossy Road Castle and Solitaire Stories, both of which put an immersive spin on inherently flat-screen gameplay. Coming to the Vision Pro on April 25th, Crossy Road Castle and Solitaire Stories have seemed to highlight how the company is directly supporting development of games on its first XR headset. It is very interesting to me seeing 2D games come alive in a 3D space, and I'm hopefully going to be able to see a lot more of this as more headsets come out. Of course, now we have Samsung, Qualcomm, and Google all working together on a headset that will hopefully have access to the Play Store and have access to that massive library of 2D apps, and that will push developers even more, I do believe, on creating versions of their flat-screen 2D games in 3D. It's just really interesting being able to see a game that you're used to playing in 2D, a flat screen title, and bringing it into the 3D space. It's a completely different type of gameplay, and it feels familiar. You know what you're doing, but it's come alive in a whole different way. And that's what we're seeing here with Crossy Road Castle and Solitaire Stories. And I think that's really, really cool. And finally, we've got a new horror game that quite a few people are very excited for. It's called Happy Funland, and it's coming to the PSVR 2 and Steam VR this month. Perp Games and Spectral Illusions announced that the VR title Happy Funland is coming to the PSVR 2 and Steam VR headsets this month, letting you explore the abandoned remains of a theme park that promises some darkly comedic rides. Ouch. And the reason I'm saying ouch is because I'm very bad with horror in general, and I think I would just know. I'm not very good with horror at all, and combining horror with an abandoned theme park for some reason, it just seems like the perfect theme to me, a perfect theme that I would do terribly in, and I'm sure you guys would love to see that. Here's how the studio describes it. You had never heard of Happy Funland theme park or its tragic tale. When you agreed to meet a total stranger named Larry in the middle of a South Florida swamp, perhaps if you had known about the grisly events that happened there, you wouldn't have agreed to the job. In addition to a swath of spooky rides, the VR horror adventure also includes puzzles and combat too, as you defend yourself against the park's enemy automatons, which have mysteriously come to life. life. I'm very excited to let Eddie try this and me watch on the couch. Either way though, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day or night, wherever you guys are in the world. And as usual, if you liked it, please do leave a like. It costs you nothing, helps the channel out a lot. If you disliked it, I guess this one works too, but let me know why down below. If you guys are not yet part of our community, check out our Discord and our Reddit down below. We want to see you posting your spicy memes. And as usual, and thank you so much to all the Patreons supporting this channel. You guys are amazing. Seriously, much love. You're helping out a ton. And thank you to anyone else doing super thanks or anything like that, donating to the channel in any way, shape, or form. You guys are also amazing, seriously. And as usual, if you guys want to be notified of future content coming up on the channel, make sure to smack that subscribe button with your forehead, ding my bell, and see you again in the next video. I need to go to Bedrock now. I need to go charge the car.
Okay, not gonna lie, that was quite funny. Usually when I come to Bedrock, I sit here in the back and just work, you know, edit videos or something on my laptop. And there was this guy just like came up and just like started looking inside the car and stuff. I was just chilling in the back and he had no idea I was here until eventually I just like slowly peeked out from the back and just waved at him. I never really thought about that. You can't see anything through the rear now.